let you suckle my teats, boy. If you let me gobble your dong.
Yo, what the f is that?
So at the beginning, we got this weird ass Toto from JJK in this anime going after this girl, Momo, telling her that if she doesn't lend him some money, then she is not getting took on a date. What is wrong with this guy? He also said that if he wants to bang, then he'll still do that, but she still has to pay for the hotel. Like, is this nigga serious? And this nigga seemed all too familiar with the game of hitting women. Apparently, he somewhat looks like her crush, which is kind of asinine in this situation, but still, that's the only reason why she dated him. So she depressingly walks down the hallway and finds herself in front of another classroom, where she sees this mob psycho looking ass nigga getting bullied. She helps him out a little bit and then gets up and walks away after that, but then he's a little bit of a starstruck. So the mob psycho looking nigga is basically like Dale Gribble in King of the Hill. He's a conspiracy theorist who likes all types of UFOs, UAPs, and other type of alien activities. So they both make a bet with each other about UFOs and anomalies, and whoever sees one first loses. It has to be the other person's gopher. Now see, they both fucked up. They both went into some weird ass areas where they had some freaky ass niggas inside, y'all. So Momo gets captured by these freaky ass aliens. You know Timmy Turner's dad in that one episode? It's basically a bunch of these niggas, but freakier. Basically, they stripped her naked and are trying to reproduce with her because their race only produces males and they have to clone each other and this and that, and they're all weird and freaky, and oh my god, I hated this scene. And at the same time that this was happening, Ken was also getting tracked by this old ass lady who wanted his wiener. This is the first episode, y'all, and we're already getting into this freaky ass nature. Like literally nothing else happened besides them becoming, I guess you could say, frenemies, and then them getting freaked on by these aliens and spirits. What is this, y'all? So Momo decides that she is going to do what her grandma did and is going to use her special powers to be able to break free from these weird ass niggas. At the same time,
I'll let you suckle my teats, boy. If you let me gobble your dong.
Yo, what the f is that?
I will not lie to you guys, Ken got his cheeks took, but then he goes through the phone that he was on with Momo at the time, just like a spirit could, to go and save her. So far we have the Diddy party because we got them freak offs with the aliens, and we got the old ass lady joining in. So after they fight and Momo waxes the aliens, the old spirit lady tells him to go get his wiener back from her. And that right there ends episode 1 of the freakiest show I've seen in a long time, y'all. What an insane start to get into this anime, but let's get into episode 2. Alright, y'all, so Momo and Ken are going to go see her grandma because she deals with spirits and she may be able to help Ken. The thing is though, he is a spirit technically because he has spirit granny inside of him.
Where is the guy that I am inside? Pause!
So he catches on fire and she throws him into the river with her psychic powers. So because of the talisman on the pole, he can't go inside, so they decide to take it down, which wasn't that good of an idea. So this random ass doorbell decides to start going off in her house, but the thing is, that's not her normal one. That is the one that the freaky ass spirits decide to use whenever they are knocking on her door. So they have to creep outside to go and put the talisman back up because that is what's letting them in. But as soon as they go outside, a block wall like you're playing Roblox decides to go and randomly appear outside. So the Agumba Tiki looking nigga from Crash Bandicoot decides to attack them. So Ken decides to try and use his weird powers that he got from Turbo Granny and fight this spirit. So I'm not gonna lie, y'all, he kind of turns a little badass, but he becomes a little bit depressed. More like a mixture of Megami and Shikamaru because he's tired and depressed all together. What a drag. The one thing that makes this worse is that this big sumo wrestler looking ass nigga says, "Give me your banana." Why are they all so damn freaky, y'all? So they get to scrapping, and because of Momo's telepathic abilities, she's able to help control his mind to be able to use his granny powers and fight off sumo wrestler dude. So they come up with a plan, because basically when a sumo wrestler loses is when they touch the ground with their hands. So Momo makes him slip and he touches one hand on the ground, and he does a flip to make his hand not touch the ground, so he's still up and alive. And Momo gets pissed because he basically cheated. So they figure out a plan to make Momo and Ken to get outside of the land, and that's what ends the fight. Right after the fight is done and they're able to get the talisman up, Momo passes out and Ken starts to change, which leads to the end of the episode. So this episode starts off in a studio with a psychic and a pop star. The psychic lady was reading him, starting off with his age, if he has a wife and child, and what he likes to eat. She ends up leaving the studio in a taxi. She tells bro that she's gonna get out earlier than expected and tells him that if he doesn't leave, that he'll end up dying. On to the next scene, it goes back to Turbo Granny, Ken, and Momo, in which Ken / Granny is gonna take Momo's cheeks, but then she's saved by the lady coming back to the house, which you can already automatically assume that that's her grandma. Damn! She starts waxing Granny and saves both Ken and her granddaughter. Momo and Grandma have a little bit of a back and forth for a second, in which Momo thought that Ken was dead, but he's just outside in the back. We get a little bit of Turbo Granny's backstory in and how she freaked off back in the past. So then they started developing a plan on how to defeat her. Next scene, Ken has to use the bathroom, which is kind of messed up because if he goes anywhere besides the shack, he has to be mind controlled by Momo. But the thing is, that means she has to see him, in which if he has to use the bathroom, y'all can guess what's next. So they all decide to go to the bathroom, and he's also getting watched. But Turbo Granny comes out of nowhere, freezes time except for Momo, and tells them that if they do not come tonight, that they will all die, and that's including Grandma. So they have to leave tonight. Grandma gives them some lucky clothes, and they are off on the train. So they made it back to where they started, from the beginning to the end. What goes around comes around, or some shit like that. And almost the second that they step foot in there, Turbo Granny is blocking both exits. Momo tries to use her psychic powers against her, but I'm not gonna lie, she's kind of trash. So they decide to use Ken's turbo powers to defeat Turbo Granny, but Turbo Granny decided to take her powers back, so he can't even use this in this fight. Thankfully, Momo decided to remember what Granny told her to do in this situation and taunt her, which 99% of the time that wouldn't work, but you know, anime y'all. So Momo challenges Turbo Granny to a race. So Turbo Granny decided that she'll play along with this game. But the thing is, they told her to count for 10 minutes so they can get out the city, and she counted 10 minutes and 5 seconds. It's almost like she had dyslexia. She said 5, 8, 9, like, bro, what is wrong with you? So Ken did what we all thought we should all do in this situation, and he grabbed her titty, y'all. He bit on it so hard that she decided to possess him again. Maybe she wanted to get some of that action in too. So they finally caught Turbo Granny. Good job. We're finally getting into some action, y'all. But then some other spirit came out of the tunnel, and apparently that's the spirit that she combined with. So they started running from Crab Lante while holding on to Turbo Granny. And since that they had her, they were able to use her powers, so he decided to turn into Turbo Ken again and started running away from the crab. I will not lie, y'all. Turbo Ken is probably my favorite character in this. Man is nonchalant. He's chilling. He's basically a dreadhead. He's cooling, y'all. And he jumps off a cliff, falls all the way down to the city, and is still running. Crab jumps down too, and now they're in some shit again. They were getting chased through buildings, up the stairs, everywhere, but they couldn't get away from the crab spirit. So Momo has an idea to use some hot water to boil it, because when crabs have hot water on them, their muscles get tightened and they cannot move right. So they started running throughout the city again, and the crab and Turbo Granny decided to call upon the dead to come fight for them. Turbo Granny detaches from Ken, and they are almost stuck, but a train is passing randomly out of nowhere, so they grab onto it, and the trains go at 120 kilometers an hour versus Granny's 100, so they're going a little bit faster than Granny. They end up making it far enough to outside of the city, and they defeat Turbo Granny. This episode ends off with them going home and eating some crab. Not gonna lie, Granny's seeming a little bit freaky too, because she's trying to see his wiener. He runs away and makes it away from her, and that ends the episode with him leaving on a bike with a goodbye from Momo. What's up, gang? Thank you all for watching. If you stayed for the whole entire video, this is still a work in progress, and none of this is scripted, which, you know, I should probably look into some things at least before I make these videos. But if you guys like the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Comment on the video on what you guys would like to see me review and talk about next, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.